Let's say you have n number of random variables x1 up to xn, and if these random variables are independent and identically distributed, we know we can write down the cumulative distribution function, which is denoted by fx. So that is the probability where x1, if you take the random variable x1, it is less than or equal to simple x. So when it comes to the empirical cumulative distribution function, which is known as the empirical distribution function, that is equal to this formula. You can see when it comes to this, here you can see 1. So 1 is an indicator function. So what you have to do is you have to look at your data set and you have to count the number of values which are less than or equal to simple x, and then you have to divide it by n. So here if xi less than or equal to simple x, if that is true, we count this as 1. Right, so I will explain you using this example. Now let's say you have this data set. You have to calculate the empirical distribution function and draw it. So when you have this data set, the first thing that you can do is it would be easy if you arrange them in ascending order, right? So you can arrange them in ascending order. So you can check here, the first value is minus 15.4. So how many values are less than minus, this first value should be minus 15.4. There are 0 observations less than or equal minus 15.4. So that would be equal to 0. The empirical distribution function value fnx is 0. Then when it comes to 15 minus 15.4, how many values are less than or equal to minus 15.4? Only one value. And how many observations are here in the sample? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. And the next value minus 12.7. So how many values are less than or equal to minus 12.7? This one and this one, 2 values. And you have 10 in the sample, 2 divided by 10, 0.2. So likewise you can get the value, and we call this as the empirical distribution function. Just as the way you plot the cumulative distribution function, we can plot this. So we know if you have any number which is less than minus 15.4, that is equal to 0. That's why we check the first value here, and it looks like a step function, but monotonically increasing step function. Right? So if you are given with a data set, you should be able to calculate the empirical distribution function and also to draw it. All right. So now when it comes to non-parametric methods, so today we are going to discuss some other procedures. So there are some cases where we want to test for a particular data set. For an example, let's say you have 20 data points and you want to check whether these 20 data points are coming from a normal distribution. Right? So likewise, if you have a data set, if you want to check whether this data set is coming from a known distribution, you can use this KS test. Right? Or we call it as the Kolmogorov-Simroff goodness of fit test. Right? So in this case, the hypothesis is our H naught is the data is coming from this specific distribution. For an example, data is following a normal distribution. Then the alternative hypothesis is at least one value does not match the specific distribution. So when it comes to this KS test, we have KS critical value tables, but when you are using the KS test, if we want, we can use this. Since we are most of the time using the 95% confidence interval, we can use this formula to calculate the critical value, that is 1.36 divided by root n. So let's see how to calculate this using an example. Okay, if you look at example 8.3, it says each person in a random sample of n equal 10 employees was asked about X, the daily time wasted at work doing non-work activities such as surfing the internet and emailing friends. The resulting data in minutes are follows. Is it okay to assume that this data come from a normal distribution with mean 120 and standard deviation 10? Alright, so what you have to do here is, we have a data set, 10 values, right? It gives us the time in minutes that people are wasting at their office. Right, so we need to check whether these data are coming from a normal distribution with mean 120 and standard deviation 10. How are we going to check this thing? So when you have a data set like this, to use the case test, the first thing is you have to arrange the data set in ascending order. You can see you have 10 values and yk is the values, the original values in your data set. First we can arrange them in ascending order, 105, 108, 111, likewise. And then what you can do is, we can calculate the empirical distribution function, because just now we learned it, how to calculate the empirical distribution function, that is Fn by k. So that is, if you take the first value 105, how many values are less than or equal 105? Only one. There are 10 observations, so 1 over 10, that is 0.1. And when it comes to second observation, how many values are less than or equal 108? Only 2 values are there. So that is 2 divided by 10, that is 0.2. Okay, and then likewise you have to take all these values here, and then you have to calculate the empirical distribution function here. And then what you have to do, now we know the empirical distribution function, we have the values, and then we calculate the empirical distribution function for yk minus 1. Right, so that is yk minus 1 means, so if you take the first value, if you take any value less than 105, we can see the empirical distribution function should be 0, because 105 is the minimum value. And if you take 108, right, yk minus 1, then it would be 0.1. Likewise, you can calculate the empirical distribution function for yk minus 1. And then, since we are talking about a normal distribution with mean 120 and standard deviation 10, so we have to calculate all these values to this corresponding normal distribution. Right? So, if we are going to find out the empirical distribution function with this normal distribution, okay, so the value is, we know what is the value, 105. So we want to find the probability x less than or equal 105. So we take the empirical distribution and we take the real value of this real distribution of these, and we check the gap between the empirical distribution and the real distribution. So to find the real distribution values, now when we are interested about the probability here, so we have to find the probability. So we can convert this into the standard normal distribution by subtracting 120 and divided by 10. So that is probability where z is less than or equal to minus 1.5. So from the standard normal table, you can find it as 0.0668. So y naught, f naught, yk are the values that we have to calculate using the standard normal table. After that, what you have to do is, what we are doing is, we take the values of this original distribution and values of fn by k minus 1 and find the difference between these two. That is this column. Right? So 0.06668 minus 0, 0.1151 minus 0.1. Likewise, you have to take the absolute difference. Also, you have to find the difference between the normal distribution values and the empirical distribution values fn by k and take the absolute value. And after calculating these columns, you have to check what is the maximum difference here. You can see 0.3580 is the maximum difference, right? So that is the maximum difference here. So what we have to do is, now this is our test statistic value. Our test statistic value is 0.358. And now we can calculate the critical value using the formula 1.36 over root n. This is the formula. So you can calculate 1.36 over root n. And check the value. Right? Critical value. That is equal to 1.36 over root n. N is 10. Right? So what you have to do is, after checking the values, if our table value, if our critical value is less than the calculated value, then you have to reject H naught. So if you are rejecting H naught, that is, we cannot say that this is following a normal distribution which has the mean 120 and the standard deviation 10. So you can check it at home. Okay, so you can use this case test when you have even two samples. That is to check whether the both samples are coming from the same distribution or not. In such cases, as the critical value, you can use this formula 1.36 over 1 over the number of observations in the first sample plus 1 over number of observations in the second sample. Now for an example, let's say you have this set of observations here. Okay. So what you have to do is, in this case, first you have to take the two observations. Right. You have to take your first data set and you have to rank it. So you can see the first data set is anyway in the ascending order, so you can easily give the ranks from 1 to 8. Then you can find the empirical distribution function for the first data set. So that is, if you take 1.2, there is only one value which is less than or equal to 1.2. So 1 divided by 8, 0.125. When you take 1.4, there are two values which are less than or equal to 1.2. So 2 divided by 0.25. Okay, so like 0.2 divided by 8, that is 0.25. Likewise, this is the empirical distribution function for x, the first variables, the first sample. And you take the second sample, again you rank the second sample and calculate the empirical distribution function. And then you have to calculate the difference between, absolute difference between the values of these empirical distribution functions. For an example, 0.125 minus 0.25 absolute difference is 0.125. And then you have to, after calculating the absolute difference, you have to check the maximum value of the absolute difference. So you can see the maximum value of the absolute difference you have to check here. Right? The maximum value of the absolute difference is 0.25. So that we have to highlight, that is the maximum. Well, that would be our test statistic. So our test statistic is equal to 0.25. And then using the formula 1.36 into 1 over 8 plus 1 over 8, the whole thing square root, you can take the critical value. So that would be equal to 0.68. So we can say now the test statistic is less than the critical value, right? This critical value is greater than 0.25. So that is, we do not have enough evidence, to reject H naught. We do not have enough evidence to reject H naught. So that is, if we do not have enough evidence to reject H naught, we can conclude both distributions are following the same, both samples are following the same distribution. Because here, when you are testing this, you can take as H naught, both samples are drawn from the same distribution, right? So as your alternative one, you can say both samples are not drawn from the same distribution, right? Okay. So the last one, again we can discuss when it comes to these distributions. If you want to check whether these data are following a specific distribution, again you can use this chi-square goodness of fit test as well, right? So when you are using the chi-square goodness of fit test, you can, as your null hypothesis, you can say the data follow a specific distribution, and as the alternative, the data do not follow the specific distribution. And this is the chi-square statistic that we are going to use. And when you calculate the degrees of freedom, you have to check how many groups you have. So that we have to take as k. If you have k number of groups, k minus 1 would be your degrees of freedom. I will explain you using this example. Suppose we suspected an unusual distribution of blood groups in patients undergoing one type of surgical procedure. We know that expected distribution for the population served by the hospital which performs this surgery is 44% for group O, 45% for group A, and 8% for group B, and 3% for group AB. We can take a random sample of routine pre-operative blood grouping results and compare these with the expected distribution. Results for 187 consecutive patients you have. What has happened? There are some patients who are undergoing a special surgical procedure, and when you take the distribution of their blood groups, that is different. So these people want to check it, right? So what they have done is they have taken the expected values from the people who are going through this surgical procedure, and you have the expected value, and they have taken another set of sample of patients who are pre-operative people who are not going through this surgical procedure, and according to them you have the counts here. Okay, so you have to test whether the expected distribution is the same as observed, right? So how do you do that? Just assume these are also using the percentages, right? So let's assume. So what you have to do is you have to, if you take H naught, that is the expected distribution is the same as the observed. That is your H naught, and H1 expected distribution is not the same as the observed. That is your H1. So you have the observed frequencies, you have the expected frequencies. Now you have to, what you have to do is you have to apply the chi-square test, right? Take the difference between observed and expected, square it, divide it by the expected frequency. For an example, here 67 minus 82.28, square it, divide by 82.28, right? So in this case, you can see, now when you take right, so you can see now when it comes to the, this is the counts, right? Among 187 people, you have 67 patients with blood group O. So these are not the percentages, but when you take the expected frequencies, they have given that using percentages. So when you are calculating the expected frequencies, you have to calculate it using these percentages. That is for blood group O, percentage is 44. So you have to take 187 into 44%. That's how you get this 82.28 value, because you have to use the same scale, right? And then when you calculate, right, then you can calculate the this value, that is if you want, I will calculate, that is the observed is 67 minus 82.28, and then you have to square it, and then you have to divide it by 82.28, right? So likewise you have to do the calculation, and then you have to take this one as your test statistic. Test statistic value. So that is 67 minus 82.28. You have to take the squared value, divide by 82.28. Likewise, you have to take the next one, 83 minus 84.15, and then take the squared value, divide by 84.15 plus, then you have 29 minus 14.96, take the squared value, divide it by 14.96 plus 8 minus 5.61, squared value, divide by 5.61. So this would be your test statistic. Then since you have 4 different groups, your degrees of freedom would be 4 minus 1, that is equal to 3. So from the chi-square table, with 3 you have the degrees of freedom with 3, and the significant value from 5% you have 7.81. So that is, you have 7.81 here as the critical value. Critical value. So what you have to do is, if the critical value is less than your test statistic, right? If this stable value, that is the critical value, write it as the table value. If this table value is less than the test statistic, then you can reject H naught. So you can just check it, and if you reject H naught, that is the expected distribution is not the same as the observed, right? So likewise, you can use the chi-square goodness of fit test. So there are more examples that you can try at home. So I hope you understand how to use these testing procedures by calculating the empirical distribution function. So thank you so much.